Hello everybody, and welcome back to another Time Will Tell watch unboxing. Today I have something that I've actually wanted for about the same time that I've wanted the Spinnaker 50 Phantoms, and that is a Moonphase. Just the Moonphase complication for a mechanical watch. Now I know that there are quartz watches out there, that have a Moonphase, but I'm more interested in the mechanical version of it because it's more interesting and it seems, I don't know, lack of a better word, more complicated to create. So, with all that said, here it is. I did take this out of its shipping box just so there was no personal information before we got started here, just as a disclaimer. So this is the inner packaging that was in the cardboard box. It's a kind of like a bag that is bubble wrap on the inside, which is pretty nice. Well done. There you can see the Space Hugis cistern. You know, originally I thought that was two separate companies, and maybe they are, but it seems like they're one company. It's a strange box. It's got like holes for like a lanyard if you wanted to carry it as if it were some kind of like camera, a hard case for a camera. But it's a pretty nice case overall. As you can see, it's a plastic hard case. It's got 4 clips on it, 2 on the sides opposite each other, and then 2 on the same side. And they're pretty grabby. It'd be pretty hard for those to come off if that were in your carry-on or your backpack or something like that, if you took this with you and weren't wearing the watch. Anyway, let's get down to opening this box. Now, I am fairly certain, and I'll put it on the screen over there, this is the version 2 or 3 of this watch. The first version was okay. I think it had a non-color matched date wheel, and I'm fairly certain a nondescript moon. It didn't really have very much interest when it came to the moon on there. Let's take a look at the instruction manual. Okay, I think it's going to be pretty generalized. Yeah, it just talks about what not to expose your watch to. There's a QR code there for something. Oh, it's the e-manual. That's a nice little book. It does have like a metallic reflective coating on some of those letters. And then you have the international warranty card. I'll probably cover or cut out some of those QRs because, hey man, you never know. I'm not having somebody steal my warranty. What the heck? As you can see, it does come with a spring bar tool. Interesting. And it has quick release spring bars. But maybe just in case, probably just in case you decide to get a strap from another company. Take this guy out of the second layer of bubble wrap, which I do appreciate. This I'm going to put to the side. And there's the watch. That actually looks really good. Case looks really good. It is pretty thick. I'm pretty sure online it says 13 millimeters thick. I'll find the information and I'll put it up there. And actually, I'll put all the specifications over there when it comes to the case, the thickness, the lugs. Pretty sure that's a 20. May even say, nope, 21. So that's kind of like an odd size. But make sure that it's zoomed in properly. And that is a pretty good looking watch. This is, again, not the first version of it. So as you can see, I'm going to zoom in here. You can see the moon has some pretty interesting little details on it, which is nice. And then the date wheel is well, it's not color matched perfectly because the dial is actually blue, but it's color matched as in it's got the darker color, so it's not white. The original date wheels, and it's a dual date wheel, were white, so it kind of stood out, made it ugly. That's one of the reasons I never bought that first version. Now I did get this watch for pretty cheap. I think right now in the store it's like $170. I got this thing for, I think, a little over $80. There was some big sale, and it's got a plastic covering. I'll pull that off. Beautiful. That dial looks really good. It's probably doesn't have AR coating. As you can see, it's really reflecting that light. But that's okay. So it does come with a second strap, as we talked about earlier. They're both the same kind of leather. This leather, excuse me, this leather is not a very nice leather. If I can equate it to another type of watch, I would say it's like an Orient Bambino's leather strap, but worse. It feels like the best I could describe it is expensive cardboard. Not good at all. But I know that there are companies out there like Straps Co. and whatnot that you can just get another strap with better quality leather, and just, if I were you and you're gonna do that, and I may do that, measure this part, get another, don't get a buckle or trade out the buckle. Make sure the strap that you get has that size strap end, and then you could put the Sujus buckle on there if that's important for you to have the signed buckle, because it does have a signed buckle, as you can say. As you can see, it says Sujus right there. So if that's important to you, you can always do that. Strapco, New Life, there's a few companies out there that do make better straps than what's on here. This is a blue that kind of matches the dial, and you can see that it is signed. Not bad, not great. Buckle does have some weight to it, so you know it's decent metal. And then there's the movement. It is an automatic manual, sorry, an automatic mechanical. Sorry, it's been a long week. I just got over being sick and I still don't feel 100%. As you can see, S401, I'm pretty sure. Water resistance, I think it's 3 bar, so, oh no, it says 5. I think online it said 3, but I would still be careful washing your hands with this. There's no screw down crown. It says Moonphase on there, stainless steel. Pull this guy off. Sticker on the back. Toss that to the side. And that's a pretty good looking movement. They did some perlage on there on the rotor and on that that main plate. So pretty decent. I do like the double bridge there. Pretty good. They did a good job. The crown is pretty nice. It's pretty interesting. Almost, not quite, but almost like the pumpkin style looking crown that's on my Spinnaker. Winding it feels oddly smooth. There's no ratcheting to winding it, which I usually enjoy. I usually like, just as an example, this is my self-made Flieger. I don't know if you'll be able to hear it because my mic is on my shirt, but ratcheting sound when it winds, and I really like that, but this doesn't have that. I know more modern watches, they don't have the ratcheting sound, but that's okay. Anyway, try not to scratch it with my wedding ring. So, as you can see, there's actually a couple things that, even when I bought the watch, I didn't particularly care for. And one being that minute track, the railroad track. I think it's kind of odd and out of place. I know that you have to have some markers to like indicate, and not every dress watch actually does, but you want some markers to indicate where your hour hand and minute hand are pointing. That's fine. The strange painted, I guess, train track style minute track is odd for this style of watch, and probably not a choice that I would make in producing this. Those little pips around the second hand, I understand, and that's fine. I think that looks good. But the numbers and stuff, I don't know. I think that's a questionable choice. As for it saying, I bumped my mouth again. As for it saying Moonphase on the face, I don't think that looks good, and I think that's probably one of the worst parts of the watch. Yeah, that's a not a good choice on their part. The Sigis, I understand, and I don't know. Maybe put the Sigis up here and not have Moonphase at all, so everything's all in line. That's just my tiny gripe about this watch and its particulars. Everything else about the watch is great. The hands are great. The hour hand and the minute hand, those kind of like sword style hands, look really good on this watch. And I really like the seconds hand and how that counterbalance kind of looks like a star in a way. It looks really good. I think they made some good choices on that. I'm going to turn the watch, and you can see the crystal does stick out just a little tiny bit. It's got a little bit of dome to it, but not too much. That's probably to keep the reflections at a minimum. Probably a good call there. Although a watch like this, I would have liked to see an actual domed crystal on it, even though legibility probably would have suffered. But you know, you get what you get. I didn't produce the watch. It's not the choices I made. That's okay. So you can see these little marks down here that are like set into the case. They're not actually sticking out. I use a, I'm sure you could use this tool to do it, although I would never do that. I'm going to use a toothpick every time I interface with this, just so the wood doesn't have a chance to scratch the case or scratch that part of the watch. And a toothpick will work just fine to set the Moonphase. That's for the Moonphase, and that's for the date. The lugs are pretty short, but they look really good, and I'm sure it'll make it so it fits pretty well on a smaller wrist like mine. I'm thinking mine is a 6 3/4 inch wrist, and I'm sure it'll fit fine other than the thickness. That thing's probably not fitting under a dress shirt cuff. The bezel, I do like the different layers of the bezel and how they catch the light. You can actually see the bezel, is set into the lugs a little bit. The lugs kind of stick up a little bit, and the bezel's set into it. I think that's kind of interesting, and I like it. I think it looks good when you notice it. Other than that, a lot of the case is polished. As you can see, the front side of the lugs is polished, as is the bezel. But the sides of the case are brushed. I'm assuming that way if you ever rub against anything while you're wearing this, those scratches won't be so prominent. Moving to the back side, you can see, I'm gonna actually grab my soft cloth, and because I'm almost certain that I'm putting fingerprints on it, even though I can't really see it. That case back is really nice. It is obviously got these little marks, so you could use a case back tool to remove it. So it's screw down. It is a display back, which I appreciate because it's got that nice look and movement inside of it. And another small gripe that I have, and I do want your opinion in the comments, please. I think they should have gone with a manual wind and not even bothered with a automatic, because it would have made the watch that much thinner. Probably shave off a couple of millimeters and have a 11 millimeter Moonphase that you're just going to wind, and that's not a big deal. But I do understand the automatic to keep the watch rolling so that you don't have to keep setting the Moonphase and the date. I understand, I guess, but it's such a thick boy that it's just one of my gripes. Now, I'm going to zoom in a little bit, shaky camera, and I'm going to move that hour hand. That date wheel, just so you know, point at it, there you go. That is 2 date wheels in there. So the one moves separate from the 5. And I have noticed, I'm gonna zoom in a little bit more here, that it's a little bit off. The 5 is a little higher than the 1. This can probably be opened and that can probably be fixed. And, you know, maybe I'll make a video about that. But that is how the watch shipped, and just, you know, just advising you on somebody that may be interested in this watch, that is a factor. Other than that, it is a really good looking watch, and I don't have a lot of gripes other than that. The crown is nice and snug against that case. They measured, yeah. I'm going to zoom in a little bit just to show you what I see. That crown stem, they measured it like perfectly. That's really nice. It's got a little bulb on the end of that pumpkin crown. The crown itself is really grippy, so you're not going to slide out when you're trying to wind it, which is wonderful. Great job there. But yeah, it's a nice piece. I think that's a good looking Moonphase. They do have another type of Moonphase where it's actually, I think there's 2 other Moonphases, and they're pretty sure they both have a white face, but one has a pointer date and the other one has the dual disc date wheels. Both a good looking watch, but I really gravitated toward that blue strap, blue dial look, and Aventurine style dial. All those little sparkly stars, sparkly night sky look to it. I appreciate that. It looks really good. I'm gonna reset the time. It's almost 12:25. Okay, now we're going to pause the video for a second. You won't notice it, but I'm gonna hit all the lights, and then we're gonna hit this guy with the UV torch, and then we're gonna see what it looks like with that lume illuminated. Okay, I'm back. Should have been instant for you, so here we go. Take a look at this guy here. Zoom in a little bit. And now we're going to hit it with the UV. I'll move the minute hand out of the way. But as you can see, that's some decent, really decent looking lume. And the moon looks really, really good. Come closer to the camera a little bit. The little stars in the night sky next to the moon are even lumed. It's just, they did a really killer job. Now you can see why they put that minute track and those little lume pips there. I do still think that was unnecessary. They could have done some metal indices out there on the minute track and it would have looked just fine. I don't think the lume was really necessary. Just personal opinion. It does fade fairly quickly, but I mean, even for my Flieger, nothing lasts forever. You know the phrase, nothing lasts forever. Although it's a Flieger, so it's pretty much all lume. But pretty sure this guy will last you a few minutes here in a dark room, theater, cocktail party. Overall, it's just a really good looking watch. Did a really good job. I think that's a watch I'll be wearing maybe to the theater. Who knows, you know? I am not terribly disappointed. Again, there's a couple things there which we talked about, but overall, that is a really good looking watch. Go open this window really quick. Just to have some extra light. Anyway, let me know down in the comments below what you think of this watch. I know moon phases aren't for everyone. Some people don't care about the moon phase. I think it's a wonderful complication, and the fact that just took the time to lume that little moon, it makes me happy. It puts me over the moon. Ugh, I hate myself. Such a good looking watch. Only a couple of problems there, but that's okay. Now we're gonna throw it on the wrist. Bear with me. Put my Flieger down. Now, I am fairly certain this guy is not going to fit under a cuff. The strap is rough at best. It's extremely stiff, no surprise there. The holes, I'm pretty sure they're the same distance as these. But it's, I mean, for me, it's either a little too tight or a little too loose, just so you're aware. But overall, got the blue, navy blue shirt on. It looks good. I think that's a good looking watch. See how chunky it is on my wrist? It's probably a little too thick. That's like the same thickness as my G-Shock. And man, that's saying something. Thick as a G-Shock automatic wound watch. But with a calendar complication, a moon phase complication, and having an automatic rotor, there's not a lot of surprise there. They kept this crystal as flat as they could to keep the thickness down, but that's what we end up with. Probably 13 or a little over 13 millimeters thick. Well, that's it for me in this unboxing. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And don't forget to comment what your favorite watch is, or if you have a moon phase and what you think. You think your moon phase is better than my moon phase? Is that what you think? You're probably right. Anyway, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.